last week when the bishop was with us, we read about Jesus asking the disciples about the Son of Man. Now, in the Old Testament, we learn that the Son of Man is a person who will suffer for the sake of his people. And rightly so, given their history, the disciples say that the crowds say that the Son of Man is Elijah. Some say John the Baptist, some say Jeremiah or other of the prophets. And truly, when you read our history, we see that, yes, those people all suffer for their people. But Jesus wants to know, who do they say that he is? And Peter makes a profession of faith, saying that, yes, Jesus is the Son of the living God. But he doesn't call him the Son of Man. And Jesus thanks Peter for what he has said. But after making this confession, our story ends. At least that's where it ended on Sunday. And this Sunday it picks up immediately after Peter makes this statement about who Jesus is. Jesus teaches the disciples that yes, he is in fact the Son of Man, and he will suffer for the sake of his people, and that the chief priests and the scribes and the elders will put him to death. Now Peter, having just announced who Jesus is, tells Jesus that this will not be so, that he will not die, that he will not have to suffer for his people. It is a temptation to Jesus to not have to do these things. And so Jesus calls Peter Satan, because Jesus hears this temptation that he doesn't have to do these things. That because he is the Son of the living God, he could just make all things right. But it doesn't solve the problem of sin for God's people. Jesus knows that he came to die for our sins. This is the reason he was born. To put us in a right relationship with God. To teach us about God's love in its most full and pure form. That God sent his Son to die for our sins. And so this temptation that Peter puts forth is one that gets him called Satan. It's hard for me to see these two stories not linked together. To go from confessing Jesus as the Son of the living God to missing the entire point of why Jesus came. This happens in the Bible together, from one paragraph to the next. Just like in our lives, where we go from our journey knowing who Jesus is, depending on him, and expecting him to be with us, to those moments where our faith stumbles and we wonder what God is doing in our lives. Peter is an example for us of those times in our lives where our faith may come and go. It's tough for us. And so this Sunday, we see an example of the rock being shaken. And yet, Jesus does not abandon Peter, just like Jesus does not abandon us. And so, I hope that you are able to join us to build on your foundation, to become that steady rock full of faith. I hope to see you in church on Sunday.